Am I off center here? I need a haircut. So, hi, I'm Alanna from Thorn Key. This is the vlog and reflection video for Doujima25. And as we're filming right now, we're actually about 1.5 months after Doujima. I wanted to get this done earlier actually, but due to some personal circumstances, I just couldn't. So yeah, I'm just doing it right now as kind of like the first part of the video, and then you'll see a bunch of probably a series of like a video montage of what happened that weekend. With some of my voiceover, and then later on, I'll kind of talk about like the reflection for the event itself. So yeah, without further ado, here we go. Whoa, oh my god, I look a mess. Because I am a mess. It's day 0 of Doujima, and that means that today we're gonna do the setup. So it's now about 5 p.m. and then setup is at 9 today. So a friend is gonna come by at around 8 here. And then we're gonna pack up our stuff and then go set up. So I don't know why, but this market has been really stressful. Like all of yesterday, there was like panic and anxiety, and I didn't really know what I was doing with my life, which is so strange because this is far from the first market I've ever done, right? Um, but I think there are a lot of new things that are happening this market. That in a way it's kind of out of my control at the moment. So for instance, I'm setting up the escape tent this round, and the event is tomorrow, but I actually haven't tried setting up the tent at all, um, because it's so big and I just don't have the space at home or outside to do it. So we're gonna try it today, and then fingers crossed that it goes out well, and like I don't have to worry about all of that. Like I don't have to worry about it falling down and things like that. So that's one thing I was worried about. Um, and another thing I'm worried about that's completely out of my hands is player flow. Like, of course, I want players to finish the game, right? But um, like right now, I still don't have a sense of how players are gonna go through, like, come to the booth, maybe purchase a ticket at the booth, and then go in and come out. Like, I don't have a sense of how that might flow in the day. Like, currently, I have tickets set up for pre-booking, which is kind of like every half an hour. I have a slot open, and some sales have gone up, but a lot of it is still empty. And I'm guessing it's because people don't really want to commit to a timing at such a huge convention like Doujima. So I'm hoping that I get day off sales for Saturday and Sunday, but I don't know for sure yet. And then I don't know, like if they come in at 12:15, then they have a half an hour, and then doesn't mean that they have to wait until 12:30, yeah, so on and so forth. It's just something that I'm gonna have to play by ear at the event. so so that's gonna be interesting. So that's that. And then yesterday, no, 2 days ago, I made the stupidest, rookiest mistake of my life. So like from previously, I have inventory, right? So game books, and obviously I'm bringing my game books this weekend too, but I have been moving those game books at different like small venues, like um at Casual Poet Library and different spaces like that, and I just haven't been on top of just how many booklets I had left at home. And to my horror, 2 days ago, 2 nights ago, in fact, I discovered I had 2 books left at home. So 2 booklets left, and even after I had pulled my remaining inventory from the library, I had 6 booklets. So there was no way I was going to be able to do 6 booklets over the whole weekend. And um, wow, so that was panic that night, and then I had to kind of put together a reprint of like a reissue of that, and then go through the file again to make sure that I had um the errata, well, not so much errata, but like the new things that I wanted to add into the book, like certain minor changes to certain wordings and rules. Yeah, all of those had to go into the new reprint. There was also a changeover of the logo. So that was very stressful for 2 days before the event. But fortunately, I got that done. And the printing shop was really kind and they managed to rush that for me. So I just did it at like less than an hour ago. I just went to go pick up those books. And fortunately, they're in my stock right now. So yeah, uh, I think at this stage, I've done pretty much all I can to prepare myself. But at the same time, I just still feel like I'm really unprepared just because of how new all these things are. So that's going to be something that can only be alleviated by the setup and things like that. So tonight will be kind of like, hopefully will kind of be the security. I mean, tonight's setup will hopefully give me that feeling of security that I need, that I won't be able, that I will be able rather to get through the weekend, um, and not completely mess things up or things like that. Yeah, so I think that's just gonna be this night, like tonight's setup. So fingers crossed. So just to give you a sense of what I have to bring today, sorry, it's like a huge mess right now because there's so much, right? So if you see here, so this bag will go with me today. This is stock, and this one here is like this stack here or stuff is also kind of like stock and game stuff. So these will stay at home with me today, but this bag will go later tonight. I have two tables that I borrowed from Greg at Grapplemax. Shout out Grapplemax, and then these will go with me today. This box has game structure stuff, and these things here, these are setup stuff, so these go with me as well. This one definitely goes with me. This is like literally all the setup stuff, so like tablecloths and things like that. This is the tent goes with me, and then my brother lent me this camping chair that will also go with me. Yeah, so these will go with me today. So it doesn't look like. So I feel like actually I'm doing pretty well in terms of how much stuff I have to bring. Like I don't want to bring excess things. And I do try to keep my games as compact as possible. Just this is just heavy though, so this is gonna be interesting. All right, we've arrived at the convention venue. This is all I brought with me right now for today, and then tomorrow I'll bring more stuff, like I said. So yeah, I opened up my chair because I didn't want to sit on the floor, so that's where I'm sitting. The tent, tables, and then some of the setup stuff here for structures. We're actually pretty early, about half an hour early, but look, there are a lot of people already. So in this video, you can see us struggling to set up the tent. In all credit to the tent, actually, once we figured out where all the poles went, it wasn't that hard to set up. The main thing was actually figuring out the instructions as to which pole went where in the first place, and that took up maybe the greater part of an hour just to do so. But now that I know which pole goes into which slot of the tent, I think, I hope, if I can remember, that setting up the tent from now on will be much smoother. But yeah, you get to see us now walking around struggling with it because we had misread the instructions, or misunderstood the instructions rather, and had put the slots in the wrong part of the tent first. And then we actually had to kind of stand back and stare at it, wondering if this tent was going to go up at all. But we figured it out in the end, so the tent did go up. Alright, so we hope you can hear me. It's kind of noisy in the convention center, but it's set up for now. So the structure is up. I think that's the most important thing. And this is going to be the table where people check in and things like that. And the merch is going to be here. And people, I mean, obviously the merch is not here yet, but I'll put the books up here and then the stickers here. The problem is that my sticker display broke, so I'm going to have to figure out something tonight to, I don't know, display stickers. And then so what will happen is that people will come in through this way and then they get to go in and play here. So this is completely not set up yet. I'll do that tomorrow morning. I'll come in early and do that. So setting this up was a bit of a struggle, but we made it thanks to the two staff who set up the tent without me pretty much. And but yeah, it's up and it's hopefully stable. We added some water weights down here. Very expensive counterweights, FYI. But you know what? We've done what we can do for tonight. It's about 11 now, so we're gonna go take public transport back and be here up and early tomorrow morning. Yeah. Actually managed to fix the display after all, because I had some carpenter's glue, so I just used that to stick down the ledges, and so it managed to stay upright for the event, so that went pretty well. And here is me setting up the tent for the game proper. So I'm just moving around and moving furniture and taking things out of the boxes and stuff like that. So something that I think I did pretty well this event was to get footage of all my setup stuff. So like, you know, I had literally hours of footage of me setting up the tent and putting the game together, dressing up the table and things like that. But I guess I was a little bit shy walking around with the mic on me during the event itself. So I don't really have that much footage of me at the event. And what footage I did get of me walking around and talking to customers ended up being not quite suitable because the angle was kind of off. So the videos that you see from now on, it's really just very small snippets of what happened through the event. But yeah. And I didn't manage to get a lot of the situations where people would come up to talk to me, to say hello and things like that. So yeah, I have some crowd shots of people kind of milling around the booth, I guess. And a quick look at the table display, you can see that the fixed sticker display went pretty well. It stayed up the whole weekend at least. So my puzzle zines on top and some stickers below. Hopefully there'll be more product to add later on. And on this side will be the TTRPGs. So, yep, on display. I originally had a copy of Cryptid Spotting that was a little bit empty. Like it was just one of the books that I started in and didn't actually continue. And I've been bringing it around to different conventions and asking friends if they wanted to draw in it. So this guy came up and he was really intrigued by the idea of cryptid spotting in general. So he was flipping through the pages, and he saw an entry that he really liked with regards to cryptids in museums. And so he was really inspired and wanted to draw something for me like right there. So yeah, it was really cool, and I think this is something I might do for future events. Like I'll just bring the book out, and if someone feels really inspired to draw something, I'll invite them to add an entry into it, and then it can be kind of like a catalogue of, you know, archivists or field researchers. to take from 1 to 4 players. Like right here inside, yeah. You don't mind if you try. People can do. Yesterday we had a couple of a few groups played my escape room, but I didn't really record them because I thought it was a privacy issue. But these guys are my friends, so I told them I was going to record it, and they were like, yeah, just do it. So here I am sneaking around from outside the tent like a creeper. Yep, so that was the footage for the weekend. So now let's go into the kind of like reflection part of this. So just for all intents and purposes, the things I'm going to be talking about, the good things that happened, the things that I could have improved on, or the bad, so to speak, and some kind of like some highlights from the event. I would just want to preface all of this by saying that any of the bad things, it's not to do with the convention organizers themselves. I think the convention organization went great. In fact, like the layout of everything was great. There was a lot of like space for people to move around, even though everything was so packed. In terms of like content, like the in the sense that the admission fee that you paid was really worth that money. Like there were so many creators, there was so much to do. So I think in terms of convention organization, it went great. So anything I'm going to be talking about in terms of the bad part comes in terms of things that maybe I could have done better, or something like, in a sense, content and convention sort of match in terms of my company and the convention, kind of like the major target markets of that convention. So something to note is that Doujima is a content creators market. So, and a lot of the content creators there are geared towards anime and game content, which I knew going in actually. So I thought that Thorn Key, originally what I thought was that as an immersive tabletop immersive game studio, Thorn Key had kind of, we did have a match with that content. That's what I thought, and especially since that whole middle part of it was an experience center. So there were tabletop games going on. There were booth owners with tabletop games, board games, and so on and so forth. So I think my main mismatch came in the fact that I set up an escape tent, which had kind of like a time commitment. So in such a packed convention, if you were not prepared to spend that half an hour in that tent, maybe it wouldn't have been something that you would want to do at a convention. And so because the bulk of my content, so to speak, or the content that I was presenting was that tent, my sales suffered greatly because of that. So to put it bluntly, so I was very fortunate in that Thorn Key was supported by Doujima, the convention. They actually offered us the booth spaces for free as a support towards a new local business doing tabletop games. So thank you very much, Doujima, for that support. And although I did make money from the weekend, so after paying staff and figuring out like production costs and things like that, I did make money. If I had paid for the booth spaces that was offered to me, I would have lost money. And so I think my main thing that I could have thought about a little bit more perhaps was that maybe offering that tent might not have been the best option for that particular market, because people go there to shop, not necessarily to sit down and play a game with people, I guess. So, I mean, that's my first off analysis and reflection after the event has been done. That said, though, people, and now we're going to the good part. So that said, though, I think a lot of my, like I said, I made money, right? So a lot of my sales actually came from the physical games. So my puzzle zines went well, my tabletop RPGs went well, and I think that that was actually a good sign for me that it's not that people didn't like my content per se. They just weren't necessarily prepared to spend that 30 minutes in there. And I also find it great that more and more people are getting to know that there's a tabletop RPG indie scene around. Um, so a lot of people, so there were a lot of D&D games going on there. People were playing it, but people also got excited by seeing indie games at the event. So that was great as well. And the other thing was that people who actually played the I'm back. My mic cut out, and I recorded like literally two like 15 minutes worth, not knowing my mic was out. So anyway, I went to charge all my stuff. So hopefully we're back. Okay. Uh, what I was saying is that I was really glad that the players who played the tent itself, even though I didn't have that many players, the players who played the tent really enjoyed the game. Like, I think everybody who played the tent came out thinking like, wow, this is really immersive, this was really fun. I didn't expect that I would see something like this at a convention. And I think my most memorable piece of feedback was that someone said that they had um it was this pair of players, and then they said when they came out that they had paid more for less immersive games before. And I thought that was wow, okay, that was really affirming for me in terms of the uh game content that I was putting out. Yeah, so I think these were the good things for me. And yeah, that I had very good feedback from players who actually did play the escape game. And now for some highlights of the event. The weekend kind of went in a blur, but there were some kind of standout things that happened for me, and I really wanted to talk about this. I just want to thank people who have be, my past players or past buyers who uh come to the event, and then they go out of their way to come to the booth to come and talk to me, to say hi, to um be friends. Like, of course, I have friends who came, and of course, I have friends who played the game. But there were a lot of people that I met only when I started Thorn Key. So, and then they came with their friends to play the game or to look at my stuff, and I really want to thank you for that. Um, it's again, I keep using this word, but I guess that's the emotion, that it's really affirming that my content, something that um I write or I make, resonates with people or is fun for people. Like, it doesn't have to be some sort of deep emotional meaning, although I appreciate it if that's the case. But to tell me that you had fun playing something, I think that's really good enough for me, and I really feel happy that you have fun doing it. After all, um me writing these sort of puzzle games, I really enjoy it, and to a certain extent, I would consider it self-indulgent, almost maybe self-indulgent to write these games and to put them up for sale. But for people to pick them up and to enjoy them and to like them, I think, wow, I feel glad, and it makes me, I guess, motivated to want to continue this, continue Thorn and Key, continue writing these games to introduce new styles of puzzle games or new styles of TTRPGs to people. So yeah, that's kind of like the highlight of my. That was one of the major highlights of my weekend. That people who had previously bought my games before came up to me to tell me that they enjoyed my games, so they wanted to introduce my games to other people. So one particular person I remember so clearly, I had seen them coming from really far away, and they looked so serious. Like, their face was the expression on their face was so serious, and they were dragging their friend along with them to my booth, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on here, right? Like, um, what's with that expression? And so she points to Whisk and Wonder, which was on the table, and she goes, "This is the game I was talking about." And so I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, do you know my game? And as I was taking out the sample folder with all the past playtesters of Whisk and Wonder, she takes it from me, and instead of me introducing the game to her, um, she flips open the folder itself, and then she starts explaining to her friend about what Whisk and Wonder is. Like, oh, this is a game that you own a bakery, and then you can do this and you can do that, you can draw this, and I was amazed, like, oh, okay, great. I mean, I'm so happy that you know my game. And she suddenly looks up at me and she goes, are you the one who wrote this game? And I go, yes, I am. And she and she thanks me and she says, oh wow, I really love your game. I have so much fun playing this game, and uh, in a way, thank you for writing this game. And I felt, wow, okay, you didn't meet me at an event, because usually if you bought my game at an event, you would have probably met me because I'm the one who goes out to these things. You found my game from somewhere else, and you liked it so much that you wanted to play it, and you met me for the first time, and um, you thanked me, and I guess all these things uh, make me feel that it's worth writing games. I guess. Does that sound weird? So anyway, yeah. So this is the highlight of my weekend. People enjoying the games that I wrote, people telling me that they enjoyed the games that I wrote. And I had a lot of people after who texted me on Instagram to tell me that they had played my puzzle zines and they really enjoyed it. So if this is you, thank you so much for doing it. Thank you for going out of your way. Thank you for taking time to write me that note or to tell me in person that you enjoy my games. I really appreciate it. Um, and yeah, I want to write more games that people will enjoy, and everything that you've done is really helpful for me in this journey as well. So yeah, that was my Dojima weekend. And so I guess the next final question is, would I do Dojima 2026, right? Um you know what? I want to say at this point of time, I wouldn't. Like, just Thorn Key wouldn't. But not because of anything that Dojima did. In fact, Dojima did so well. For me, it's a little bit more like, I think the product offerings that I have are not good enough yet, or they don't have that price point yet to be able to cover what I would have put up for booth cost just yet. So, and that, I mean, that of course includes with the tent and stuff like that. Maybe if I had one booth, that would be okay. Like, I think my product offerings would be okay if I just had one space and I didn't put up a tent, but instead sold my stuff, like the zines and the games. But I think I'll revisit this a little bit later. So as of recording, like right now, Dojima booth applications are up for the early birds, and as I see on their social media, it's like overwhelming. And because I'm still kind of like on and off about it, I haven't put my name in yet, just because I don't want to take up a slot when I don't know for sure if I want to do it. So I think I'll revisit it again, maybe at the end of the year in a couple of months when I have a little bit more new additions to my product lineup, and then see if there is a slot, and maybe if I want to take that, if they have more spaces in that experience section. So yeah, I think that's it for me for Dojima. And in terms of like what I've been feeling over the past month or so. And right at this time of recording, I'm hoping to put up the video sooner rather than later, hopefully, fingers crossed. But um I'm planning events for July and hopefully August. So please come see me at those events, and there'll be more immersive things going on at those events. Um, Not necessarily the tent, but more other immersive story based things. So I am really excited for those things, and I'm probably going to be filming some kind of like production behind the scenes progress for those. So yeah, if you haven't already, please give me a follow on Instagram. The updates for those events will most likely be on Instagram rather than YouTube, obviously. But yeah, if you're in Singapore and you want to keep updated with what I do, please follow me on Instagram. Um, if you're not based in Singapore and you still want to follow what I do, obviously there will be physical product shop updates. I'm hoping to turn some of my products digital as well and put them online for sale. So if you're interested in like things like the zines and you want to buy them, please also follow me on Instagram. And then when those get updated on my shop, definitely I'll talk about it on Instagram as well. So yeah, so that's it from me. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.